And we're live. Episode 16 of the Fresh Towels podcast, live on tape here in New York City. Back from a Florida weekend. People take tanning a little too seriously down there. I was sitting next to the pool. I was next to a woman. She looked like a leather satchel. She's been tanning since the Reagan administration. It's incredible. I got a little bit of sun this weekend, and I learned my lesson because I got sunburned the weekend before. I'm like, I'm not going to do the same mistake twice. So I got sunscreen. I
thought that was like a brand name.
Sunscreen.
Like
I could make it.
When you get burned, some scream.
Some scream,
some tan.
But some get a great tan. And today, well, I don't know. Where do you stand on spray versus lotion on sunscreen?
I like my process is usually lotion first, spray to as you go.
No one does this. No one does that.
What are you talking about?
Do you bring multiple types? You're either a lotion or a spray person. No one's layering the sunscreen.
Well, I get, because I spend a lot of time like at the lake and shit. So like I always, there's like always some stuff around. So usually I'll do. You're
just taking whatever's available.
No, I like to start with a base coat, and then like an hour goes by, hit me with the spray.
A base coat. You're not a Pontiac.
I am. I also look at this. I have
Kiehl's.
Kiehl's
is nice.
SPF face. This is the only shit I like to put on my face.
Some people I could see doing multiple different types of things for face versus body.
I love a good Neutrogena face specific sunscreen. And my Kiehl's now.
There was a hype craze for kids sunscreen that I think it integrated into adult sunscreen for the spray. Basically, we went generations of people spraying their sunscreen. You'd be like, did I get that spot?
Right.
Did I get that spot? You never know. And then there was this technology that was like you spray on, it would come out like neon blue.
Right.
You'd look not sweet for a little bit, and then it would go transparent.
Yeah.
But they did it with the kids ones first. Then they started doing it with some of the adult ones.
I haven't seen that in a while. I have an invention that I tried to patent, and obviously I'm just an idiot, so I never was able to do it.
For sunscreen?
Yeah. Single person sunscreen application. So it's basically like
just enough for one day?
No, it's the application process. So like a Neutrogena like towelette or something, like a really long one.
Okay.
Like maybe 3 feet.
Like a body wipe?
Covered in, but maybe like 5 inches tall, not super long, 4 inches, covered in sunscreen. You pull it out of the package, because then
this doesn't sound like it.
No,
will work.
Listen to me. You put it, like when you dry your back off with the towel.
Yes.
You do the same thing with this. You go all the way down your back, and then down your back, your legs, and then you use the rest of it. You just wipe it all over. This way, you can get your back.
I can't imagine what this towelette will look like, though.
It looks like a regular towelette.
You just take it out, a slimy.
What is any towelette that's pre-moistened with something?
But that's alcohol that's in those moist towelettes, so it's like a liquid alcohol.
Yeah,
you can't put
a
thick, viscous
Buddy,
sunscreen.
You chemistry it, you biology, you physics it.
5-foot portable. I just don't. Why would that be easier than just having a bottle in your bag?
You can get your back by yourself.
I see what you mean. So the application is more so that you can
for the individual. When there's one person, or when you're a big hairy oaf like me, and there's nobody around, that none of your boys want to do your back for you. Now I don't have to get, melanoma because I have this beautiful.
It's all about the shoulders, though. You got to hit the shoulders. If you get the
how are you
shoulders
gonna
right,
get your shoulders right when you're by yourself.
I feel like your arm is just long enough to hit the depth of the shoulders that gets hit the worst. No one ever had. When was the last time you had someone who was like, "Oh my God, my lower back got burnt"? No one.
I don't know, man.
Doesn't happen. It's all about the shoulders, because your shoulders are like little buoys in the water. They're bopping around. You don't realize that the UVs are coming in from all angles.
Are you under the impression that people only get burnt in the water?
No, but that amplifies it for sure.
Sure.
But no one's getting lower back burned. Oh. I almost choked. Here's another idea. What about this?
You just came on my side. Now you're.
No, I'm not coming on your side. I'm reinventing your invention. So here's another idea, and this would be not a portable product, but you sell this to resorts. What if there was a back system, where like you stand on a machine and it just sprays your back?
It already exists.
So what? Isn't that the solution then?
Well, yeah, but if you're at that resort, They have a thing where it's like a tanning.
What's it called?
It's like a spray tanning booth where you go into this like round thing and you put
That's
your
great.
arms up and it sprays all around.
That's great.
How is that portable?
That should be on Trivago. It should say the room is
they
this
have
size, it's cost this much, and we have a back tanner. You can go right into the back tanning unit.
I want to have a little baggie of these 5-foot.
Dude, where are you gonna stuff a 5-foot towel?
Okay,
it's
what
gonna
about-
take your entire luggage is gonna be these back towels. If you go to Hawaii for 2 weeks, you're gonna have to bring an extra carry-on.
Buy them when you're there. Who says you can only buy them in your town? You buy them when you're there. That's much cheaper and easier
A
than a
5-foot
tanning.
towel is huge, dude.
Who says it's gonna be 5 feet? It could be.
You said 5 feet.
I did not. I said 5 inches wide, and I said about maybe 2 or 3 feet long, just enough to get behind you, so you can like this,
Shimmy
all
down
the
your
way
back?
Yeah, there it is. That's what it's called. The
shimmy down the shimmy towel. Shimmy
shine. And I'm thinking it's not viscous cream because when you do this air spray, it's not creamy. It's like liquid. It's like a clear liquid when you spray it on. So why not use that same technology minus the
It's an aerosol though. You can't
minus the aerosol.
That's the whole point.
No, I'm saying, but what's inside that it's spraying on you is not a cream.
No, but the whole thing about the aerosol is that it sprays out.
I have a feeling that I am not pitching the shark right now properly. I'm just
I
arguing.
feel like on Shark
You
Tank.
don't get it.
Yeah, if I Mark Cuban you right now, I'm gonna be like, no one's traveling with a 5-foot fucking.
I'll tell you right now,
toilet.
if I had it and you could see it and I did it visually, I think every shark would be like, how has no one done this before? How much do you need? I'll give you more.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
It's the back shimmy. Are you pitching it that you can use this towel on all parts of your body
Yeah,
too?
so then you just get your back, and then you have all this, and then you get it all over your face, your arms.
But I feel like
place
your
you can't
back takes up
reach.
a lot of real estate. You're saying that there's going to be enough lotion on there
Yeah,
to hit your
buddy.
face after?
Absolutely.
What happens if your little back hairs get on the towelette? Now you're rubbing that on your face?
What's your back
Maybe there's
hair?
2 towelettes inside the thing. You got a back shimmy.
I think it's a whole pack of like 30 towelettes, I think. It could be a thin material.
I don't know if this technology can be done.
All right. Well,
You never even gave me your preference if you like the lotion or you like the spray. You're going off about
told you.
your inventions.
I told you.
Or you do layers.
I lotion, then I spray.
That's a non-answer. I asked you what your preference is. I'm saying even if you do multiple layers, what is the better of the two?
I like the spray because I don't like lotion all over my hands.
Very true.
I don't like having lotiony, and then I got to go wash my hands.
The lotion on your hands is definitely a downside. But I will say I love a smell of a lotion later in the day.
Oh yeah,
I love that smell.
Little sun,
Little
sun
coconut.
and-
Oh, what is that? A palm frond on my shoulders? I love the smell of the pool.
That's why I think that one of the greatest Seinfeld episodes. It smells
great.
like the beach.
Smells like
Calvin
the
Klein
beach.
stole it.
It's a great smell.
I love
The
it.
pool, I love a chlorine, sunscreen, sun-kissed smell.
Especially
and
the first sunscreen of the year you smell, that first coconut sunscreen.
it's
You're
great.
like, oh, summer's here,
It's
baby.
great. I feel the same way about a sunflower seed when we play softball. When I crack open the first bag of sunflower seeds of the season, I'm like, let the addiction begin. I love sunflower seeds.
Big sunflower.
Big time. And there is something about being outside, eating a sunflower seed, and you combine putting a little sunscreen on too. 2 of my favorite things. Right there, sunflower seeds and sunscreen
But
smell.
see, if you got to use your hands to lotion, then you go seeds. You're eating sunscreen.
Yeah. There could be worse things to eat though.
I don't know, man. Seems pretty toxic.
Yeah, not good.
No.
I don't recommend it.
I don't put on lotion, by the way, and then think it's healthy for me.
You
I
don't
think
think
it's-
sunscreen's healthy for you?
No, I think if I just putting sunscreen on, like in the winter, it's bad for your skin. I think.
I will say that the SPF levels, I don't understand how the SPF levels work. In my small brain, I picture the lotion factory with like a big thing of just basic lotion, and then there's another container full of SPF, and then the amount of SPF is like sprayed into it. Like this one got 15 pumps, this one got 30 pumps. I don't know how they differentiate how. I don't even know what SPF means. Sun protection
Factor.
factors.
That's what I'm thinking.
Sun proof free.
I think you're getting close,
Spectrum past freeway.
buddy. We had it on the first shot.
What was it?
Sun protection factor.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And the FDA says that it's.
I don't know what is an SPF.
The popular misconception is that SPF relates to the time of solar exposure.
No,
So
no
SPF
one thinks
15
that.
gives you 15 hours.
What? That's not right.
That's not at all. I thought it was minutes.
But they used to say 15 SPF was the minimum that you could do. Then, I don't know, a couple years ago, people said 30. I think people say 45 now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was rocking the 15 this weekend, popping it, spraying it all over my face. The bad thing about the spray is that it goes downwind, you know?
Yeah, you
gotta almost bring like a fucking wind chime to see where the wind's going. What do they got? An air sock.
Just spray a few in the air, see where it goes.
You gotta see where the wind goes because you don't want to hit your friend. I hit a couple of my friends downwind of the aerosol.
That's a little extra protection.
You can't hit your friends downwind if you give them a warning. I think that's fair. If their two choices are, I'm gonna spray it and it's gonna hit people I don't know, or I change my direction and hit my friends. I'm gonna go hit my friends and let them know, hey, by the way, I'm aerosoling.
I think it's the same thing as like music on the beach. Like
What?
you didn't ask me to play your music, so why do I got to ask if I can spray sunscreen on myself? Why do I got to ask permission?
It should be just
warn
known.
you that I'm protecting myself. You know what I mean?
I think an aerosol though, you got to let people around you know. If you're gonna aerosol and it's downwind, it's not right.
Yeah. I guess if you're
Unless you could tuck yourself in a corner, that's the ideal. Or
Yeah.
you can't aerosol in your room either before you go.
No, because then all your surfaces are sticky.
Yeah, then you got. That's one thing people don't talk about. People don't talk about it. It's not discussed enough. The lotion you can pre-do before you hit the beach. You can always lotion before you go out the door.
It's the two major topics in this country right now. Lotioning before you go out, critical race theory. The two hottest topics right now, man.
Major.
Killing it on the fresh towels.
You just never really hear this discussed.
No.
But you can't aerosol. You can't do the spray sunscreen in your home before you hit the beach. It is a only outside activity where you can lotion where you get out of a shower, you're going to go to the beach that day, you can lotion right there out of the shower, hit all the major areas.
Yeah.
But then if you want to spray, you have to wait till you get to your given location, which always leaves a little something to be desired. One of my least favorite things on earth, if I could do a top 5 of my personal least favorite things, is getting sand on my body after I sunscreen.
Yes, that's tough.
Oh my good Lord.
Or forever.
Or say for example, the sunscreen lotion bottle. You only have lotion. You can't multi-layer.
I know
like
you're going
Big
with
Mike.
this, and I'm already upset.
Drops in the sand.
Yeah.
Or
It's under the cap.
you do the first layer. You do a little bit of one arm. Then your buddy throws you a beach ball, sand all over it. Now you have sand on your hands, but you haven't finished the job yet.
Yeah.
Those sand particles will stay with you until you pass away off this earth. They will never wash off. You go in, it's impossible.
They will be removed from your body when your body turns into sand.
I think that's the reason they invented the aerosol spray lotion, because too many people are dropping the bottles in the sand, getting sand on their person, and then what are you going to, no one wants to exfoliate while they're putting sunscreen on.
Let me ask you this. Do you spray ever and then wipe? Do you spray like all of your arm and then get in there with your hand?
I do spray and wipe.
I do too, and it's what's the point then? Just give me the bottle of lotion.
Because I feel like it's like...
Why am I throwing aerosol into the ozone
This
when
is
I
the
can just
difference
throw
of
it onto
spray
my body?
painting a wall in your house or hand painting it. I think you still need to spread it out.
Mm.
So I think the spray captures more area.
Do you spray paint and then go back and paint it with the brush?
Maybe not the best analogy, but you got the visual.
Yeah.
But I do make sure that I even it out.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just conditioning, years of being conditioned of the lotion industry that you need to do a spread.
I'm with you on that.
But I did that, man, and I do have to put lotion on the top of my head now. I was really anti that I have a bald spot forever. I resisted it.
Yeah.
And then if I have a 3-way mirror, it's like right there.
Why do you have 3-way mirrors? What do you
Three-way
live inside
mirror.
of a Bloomingdale's?
No, well, when I go to a Bloomingdale's, I'm checking it out. Like when you're at home and you got just a one mirror, you can kind of trick yourself that what's going on in the back isn't happening.
Constantly looking up.
But when you have 3 mirrors and you can angle your head and the back mirror is capturing the, you do that angle, I'm like, oh shit, that's a problem.
Yeah. I have a problem with quantity.
Of hairs?
Well, of hair and body, because I have a very hairy back, and that's also I'm very large. So I'm like a quarter to half a bottle of sunscreen per application, because I just have so much square footage.
But based on your size of your body doesn't affect Like hair follicles, for example, are all the same
eats
size.
it up, though, but it's a lot of it, and it eats it up.
But saying your follicles are the same size as my follicles, like
You don't know that.
I'm saying the
Thick
size
hair,
of your
thin
body,
hair?
it doesn't affect. No, I'm saying okay, a hair on your back is going to be the same size as a hair on my back.
That's not true. I could have thicker hair.
Thicker follicles. So the bigger you are, the bigger the follicle.
I'm not saying that's true, but I'm saying that follicles can differ in size person to
You think
person.
so?
Yeah, and first of all, don't go at follicles and start treating them like they're all the same. Okay, all independent, and unique.
So I'm
They're
saying
like snowflakes.
if I took your follicles and put them on my back, they're like, whoa, Chiggy's got some thick ass follicles.
But all right, tell you
Thick
right now,
hairs.
you want to run your hands through my back hair and then tell me if that feels thick or thin? I bet you don't. You know why? Because it's scary.
It's scary back there.
It's the Black Forest.
I've never properly shaved my back either.
Oh,
I feel like that's a slippery slope. Once you become that guy, it's forever. You never can turn that off.
No.
You're always going to be a shave my back person. They have some inventions, by the way, where you can stick a razor in the back and you throw it in the thing. They've done that. No one's ever done the sunscreen lotion towelette.
I was early in my career. I was a male model for a back shaving device. You can do it by yourself. Big long arching back shave razor.
Did they give you a free one?
I got a free one. Yeah.
They better have given you a free one.
It didn't. I mean, it was okay. You're
That
never
is
getting
another
all
reason
of
why
it,
you need a three-way mirror.
Mm.
How are you supposed to even know if you hit all the spots?
That's me and my girlfriend bonded the first time. Like we really bonded. We went on a trip to Mexico early in a relationship, and I was embarrassed to go like to the beach because I have a very hairy back and it creeps up my neck. And she shaved my back with
Wow.
a single like Bic razor, disposable razor. Took about an hour, and she was
It
just
takes a
sitting on
long
my back
time.
having the best time of her life.
Some people like it.
I was
It
like,
can
all
be
right,
kind
cool.
of fun.
Yeah, it was
It's a blank canvas. You can really
cathartic.
work. It's
Yeah.
like a Zen garden.
Mhm, yeah.
If you put the shaving cream, it's nice and even. Then you Zen garden it, even strokes. I could see that. I mean, maybe we'll do that on an episode.
She did it one time where she with like an electric blade.
Not as satisfying.
Not as satisfying, but then as she's going, because I don't know what's going on back there. I'm just trusting her. She etched her name.
That's
my
cute.
back
That's
hair.
love.
It's on my Instagram.
That's
if you want
love.
to see it. Is it love?
Yeah, it's something.
It's rude, I would say. I was walking around with her tattooed on my back like a psycho.
Well, after all my sunscreening this weekend in Miami, I did not get a sunburn, but I did come off with a little glow. So I guess the moral of the story is I'm not a doctor, but I can say that 15 sunscreen allowed me to have a little bit of a glow and not get sunburned. So all in all, it was the perfect amount. Whatever I did, it was the perfect amount. And I did go with the spray. The spray. Another place in a hotel where you get lots of bang for your buck for tipping the right way is by the pool. If you're ever at a resort and they have the cabana boy, the lotion person, the towel attendant, whatever you want to call them, the people by the pool, if tipped properly, goes a long way. It might be the best $20 or $30 you spend all day if you tip them accordingly. I'm talking about possible cabana upgrades. I'm talking about drinks on the house. I'm talking about you want that shady spot. I'm talking about an umbrella that is a little bit across the way and you got to get it rolled over there. I'm talking about complimentary sunscreen. All of these things for about $20.
You said lotion boy. Is that a
Cabana
thing?
boy. Cabana boy.
You said
I was a
lotion.
cabana boy.
You said lotion boy too.
That does exist.
That's a person that lotions you?
So I actually applied. There's one position in America. I don't know if it still exists, but this was going back to 2015, and I applied for it. At the Ritz-Carlton South Beach in Miami, there is a tanning butler position. And the tanning butler has a belt with all different SPFs, lotion, sprays, got everything on a belt, and goes around the pool and applies or reapplies lotion, and that's an 8-hour shift, and you get paid for it.
Yeah.
The tanning butler, Ritz-Carlton South Beach, I applied for it.
And they have it on the back of their shirt. It says tanning butler.
Tanning butler.
Yeah. This still exists, it looks like.
I applied for it. I want to say I was offered the position, but I didn't take it. I would have to move to Miami. I did it because I thought it would be a funny
That would have been
joke.
a great job. 6 months just going around lotioning
I wanted
up.
to do it maybe for a summer or something, but they're
Hot
looking for a
dudes.
full-time person, and I thought I had everything that they wanted. I already had worked for the Ritz-Carlton, so I knew their service style. So I was already in on that front, and they wanted someone who was outgoing, who could make the guests laugh by the pool, because it is kind of a different. You don't want someone too serious with you know what I mean. So I think they did offer me the position, but I wasn't willing to do it full time at the time. I would have to move down. I thought it would have been great for a summer.
They had a casting call in 2010 for this.
2000. Well, this is before my time then.
Yeah.
But I think I was offered it. I want to say 2012, maybe 2013.
It looks like they had the same guy because all the photos on Google it looks like the same person doing the job, or they just cast the same person over and over again.
Maybe.
Or like same looking guy.
What a dream job though. South Beach, tanning Butler.
And every photo they're just rubbing hot ladies and ripped dudes' backs. Sounds like a party as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, how do you have a bad day? I guess if you get...
You run out of lotion?
Or it rains.
It rains.
If you depend on tips, which I think people must have broken off these tanning butlers.
If you're getting someone, a butler, to tan your body lotion...
You better break them off.
You better be chipping some cheddar.
Got to break them off.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go out and you bring your fiance down by the pool and some guy named Jiggy rubs your lady down with some SPF 15, I mean, you got to either break him off or
break him off.
Break his nose.
You're breaking him off one way or the other.
One way or another. What an interesting position, though. I don't know if it still exists, to be honest. They might have done away with that.
That's probably why they made him wear a shirt that had the name.
Tanning Butler? Well, yeah, you just can't have a guy walking around rubbing people. I was a cabana boy, different position. I never got to apply lotion, but I did supply lotion. But different. Apply and supply, much different.
Those are two very different jobs.
But I was a cabana boy for a summer in college at a resort at Universal Studios in Orlando. And the things I would have to walk around, I had like 6 things I had to do every day. That was circle the pool with different amenities and then also give out towels and sell cabanas. But my 6 amenities that rotated based on the day of the week were things like I had to make smoothies and give out smoothie samples, like 2-ounce
That's pretty good, though.
Smoothies. You had to race around the pool before they all melted. I would do Evian mist sprays. So they had these little bottles that we'd keep on ice. That was Evian water that would be put in a spray bottle, and you'd go around and you'd spray people's faces with it.
That's pretty good.
A nice cool mist. I would do chilled cucumbers for your eyeballs, and I'd put chilled cucumbers on your eyeballs.
That's solid.
What else did we do? That might... God, I can't remember some of the... Oh, chilled towels. That was another big hit. You put
man, I love it.
rolled towels at the beginning of the day when we got there in the morning. You put them on ice. Water ice. It can't just be ice or else it sticks to the towel.
Right.
For all those people trying to do that. Water ice so it doesn't stick. Then you take them out, wring them out a little bit, put them on a platter, run around the pool, chilled towels. And when it's 4,000 degrees in the middle of the summer in Orlando, bring those around. What a nice touch that was.
That's my 2 favorite things is a nice cold towel on a hot day, and then I love a hot towel at the end of my haircut.
Oh, yeah, right in the back of your neck.
The little spray, and then they wrap your face in it, and then they rub your temples. When I lived in Orlando, I used to go to this place just to get my hair washed because the lady was very attractive, and she was very sensual about her haircuts.
Oh, with the massage, a hair massage.
Big massage, and her, her hooters would always... And she knew what she was doing.
Yeah,
you know, like she was selling it.
It's all a game.
And we both consented to this wash. But then the towel at the end, and she'd rub your shoulders and do a whole thing. This was just like a great clips. This wasn't like some weird thing. And it was right next to my gym, so I would go just get a hair wash 2-3 times a week sometimes.
Sounds great.
$20, leave there rock hard. It was a blast. It was an absolute blast.
As a cabana boy, our currency was... you obviously got tipped. That was the main goal of all these cabana activities, was to get broken off and get tips. But our currency that we'd give to the guests was like gold out there. The 2 things that were like gold was a fresh fruit plate, sliced fruit. So the chef at the beginning of the morning would make all these fruit plates, and to those were like little gold nuggets. Those were gold bars sitting there, and they either get used or they don't. and you'd use them at your discretion at the cabanas or to help sell you a cabana. So that was part of a major currency, was a fresh fruit plate. And people by the pool, they love a fresh fruit plate. Who says no to a fresh fruit plate? The other thing was a Fiji water, which the value of a Fiji water on a hot day by the pool, on ice, in a silver bucket, Fiji waters and fresh fruit plate, I mean, that's $3,000.
That's great.
The true value of that, there's a definite inflation of fruit and Fiji waters by any pool.
Well, it's not the fruit and the Fiji water. It's the convenience and the luxury that you're paying for.
Plus,
what would you make on that? What would you get cut off on something like that?
So the cabana value would range depending on the day and where the location of the pool was. And depending on the guest, sometimes I would comp a cabana. I'd be like, if I knew a guest was staying for a while, I would comp a cabana, put him in there, give him a silver bucket, like a wine bucket, full of Fijis and a nice square fruit plate. Beautiful.
All free, all in the house.
Depending on the guest.
Right.
And then I would easily get broken off maybe like $50 or $100 for that.
That's it.
That's a lot. This is 2009.
People walk into a restaurant and palm $100 for getting a seat.
Nah, this is Orlando, baby.
Yeah, you're right.
Plus, I was 20 years old.
But if they're paying 3 Gs for that,
they would never pay 3 Gs. I think, like the best A+ cabana at that time was maybe like a couple $100 for the day.
Oh, okay.
You know, maybe $200-300 for the day, and it's on a food and beverage minimum. I think they did. So like you didn't just pay separately. Like you'd order lunch out there, and if your bill was over $200, the cabana was taken care of.
Right.
But an empty cabana did nothing for anyone. And there was a science, like people, when they were in a cabana, spent more. They're more comfortable. They're watching TV. They order more food. So an empty cabana makes you $0 for the day. So I would just put people in cabanas. It made more money for the hotel, and I'd get broken off a little bit.
What would you look for if you didn't know them? If you didn't know the guests specifically, how would you visually determine that they're going to buy some shit and spend some money?
Oh, man.
What were your cues?
Unfortunately, this is pre-stand-up comedy me, but I think that I became very observant of behaviors by that pool. I learned so much about people from around the world, of how they dressed, how they come out. My favorite type of person to put in would be like, it looked like a 40 or 50-year-old New York couple, gold chain, that type of guy, and his wife.
Because that's like they may not have money, but they're going to act like they do, and they're going to give you the little that they might have.
I can paint the picture in my mind of exactly what this
group looks like. I can see what they look like too. Yeah.
They're a little ball busted when they come in the pool. You could tell they've been around. They got a nice base tan. They throw the gel in to come out to the pool. They're hooting and hollering when they come around there. That couple, I put them in a cabana. Not only do they appreciate it, but they'll order a big thing, blah, 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 you know? The couple that never, ever pays off is the young couple, the young, good-looking couple, or the young group of girls or whatever. Like I was like a young single kid by the pool. Like I'd be like, oh man, I want to put these girls in the cabana. That never pays off. First of all, they'll never break you off, which assumingly so, and they don't order anything. So if you're looking at making the most money per cabana, it's like a 40, 50-year-old New York guy and his wife and maybe like his son-in-law.
Right.
They throw down the most. They got a football in the bag, throwing it around.
They go in the pool, but they never go below the shoulders. They're always waiting above, sunglasses on in the pool.
Yeah,
those are specific.
They go in the pool and they specifically call it cooling off.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that I look for. And I used to throw them in the cabana for a day. Yeah,
it's a good time.
I got the service award by that pool. First ever cabana attendant to get like the massive resorts, and they used to give out one, like I think they called it the 5-star service award or whatever, but it was whoever was working on property. Hundreds of people who work on property who did the best service, and I was the first person to get it working by the pool.
What was the service award?
It was Lowe's was the name of the hotel, Loews, Lowe's Hotels. There's many of them.
Which property was this? The Ritz?
Lowe's,
Lowe's
Portofino Bay.
This was in
Orlando.
Universal,
yeah.
Wow.
So Lowe's managed the property.
Yeah.
And so they go around, and I remember they came out, so the executives came out by the pool, and the criteria was how I interacted with the guest, which they observed, but then they had me come out to do a setup. That's what we called it, a setup for towels in a towel chair.
Okay.
So I still remember how to do it. I could still do it today, but you would have to bring at least 3 towels. So you do one on the body of the chair, one on the back of the chair, and you tuck all that in nice. And then you have one that's rolled 3/4 of the way that hangs off the back, and that's your headrest.
Wow.
And that done super nice and neat, blow people away.
And
They
this
can't-
is before they even know that they're getting this chair, or this is like when they go, oh, can I have these
They
chairs?
would come up. They'd come up to the cabana boy desk, the towel attendant desk. They come up, they see me, and they either blow right by me and just take towels, and then they're on their own, or they would come to me and be like, "Hey, I need 2 chairs," and they'd say, "I want 2 chairs by the water. I want 2 chairs with shade. I want a cabana, whatever they would want." And I would go and I knew that pool like the back of my hand, and I'd go and I'd find areas. I'd roll over umbrellas. I'd get them all set up beautiful with the towels.
Mm-hmm.
They'd know my name at that point. You know what I mean? Hey, can you send someone over to send me a smoothie, whatever? And then so I'd get them all set up. But I got broken off.
Yeah.
So like, it would take me 5-10 minutes. I'd get everything set up, look great, beautiful. They break me off $5, $10, $20. That's actually, I guilted myself into stand-up comedy because of one of these interactions. I was out by the pool. I hadn't started doing stand-up yet. And this British couple came up to me. They wanted a cabana. I got them set up. And they're like, yeah, so what are you doing? Do you do this all the time? And I was like, well, actually, I'm a stand-up comedian. And I'd never done it before in my life.
Sure. We all were there.
I was like, yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian. And they're like, oh, really? Oh, how long you been doing it? And I was just like making shit up. I was like, oh, I just got started, but that's my goal. I want to be a stand-up comedian. And then that night, I remember went home and I was like, God, I didn't feel good about doing that. That didn't feel right. And then I think it was 3 days later, I did my first open mic.
Yeah, there you go.
So I said it. I manifested it. That British couple.
A severely burnt Speedo wearing
They love Speedos. the
British couple made you a comedian.
Yeah.
Without them, maybe you aren't here.
You never know.
That's that butterfly effect. That this is the moment that turned it.
That couple.
If they didn't say, "What do you do outside of here?" You may have not ever.
Might have never taken the leap.
Wow.
This show would have been called No Towels.
The show would have been called nothing.
Yeah. I learned a lot out by that pool. But to go back to my other original point, it's amazing that if you stay at a beautiful resort, it's not unusual to spend $500 a night on a room or up to $1,000 a night in a room, depending where you are, if it's all inclusive, whatever it may be. You spend that much on a room, and you don't realize that if you just broke off $20 or $50 a day to the people who take care of you out by that pool, the reason why you're staying at that resort is probably for the beach or for the pool or whatever it may be.
Right.
And you take 5% or 10% of what you paid the night for the room, which is just a room, and give it to a person, your experience can change so significantly. It's so easy to change your stay by just breaking someone off like $20 or $50. In the grand scheme of your vacation,
Right.
it's a lot to do every day. You can't do this every day. This is like vacation money. If you allocated a couple grand for your vacation, save a couple of $100 to break people off who take care of you, because it really, really changes the entire vacation. I would, if I did a life book, life advice, break people off by the pool, break off your bellman, break off your front desk people.
There's a great book I'm reading right now called "Your Table Is Ready," and it's I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a lifetime maitre d' in New York City since like the 80s, and all the way from like way back to now, basically. And he's it's all about the whole world of tipping and gratitude and gratuities and all. It's wild to hear these stories about.
Yeah,
he's like $100 will get you whatever you want in a restaurant in New York City.
True. It's true. Crisp
Yeah.
$100 bill. It means a lot. It changes your experience. It's a whole nother level of how
Yeah.
it can change your experience. And that's the currency in America, definitely the Caribbean, Mexico. That's the currency, Canada too. But that's not the currency, for example, in Japan. Like, the tipping culture does not exist. It's considered rude.
Yeah.
So if you broke off someone equivalent of like $100 at a restaurant in Japan, not only would they not know what to do with it, but they would think that you were being rude.
Yeah, like in Germany and European countries, if you leave a tip, that's them seeing that you said you obviously don't get paid enough to do this.
Yeah,
So I'm going to give you a little extra because you're a low level person that needs more money.
They don't look at it the same way. Where I think in America we look at it as purely like appreciation or let me cut the line in some way.
I am getting a little frustrated with the amount of places that are like giving you the option to tip. I don't want to
taken too far.
I don't want to supplement a large company paying their people with tips.
Well, it's become it's become a button, literally. So a lot of these, what we've seen over the last 10 years, I saw it when I first moved to New York in 2013, but a lot of these mom and pops or small coffee shops are moving away from, well, they're making their credit card processing are a lot of app-based companies like Toast or Square.
Right.
And all of those companies allow you to put an option to put a gratuity on. It doesn't cost the company anything, so they're just putting it on at places that traditionally wouldn't have it. But I think that's more of a reflection of these app-based credit card systems than like people thinking they really should get a gratuity. But it's like, yeah, you just put a button that says, do you want to put a gratuity button on here? It's yes or no.
Yeah.
It's like, why not take in extra money? And most people just will throw down, because what's the difference if you go get a coffee and it's like, put 15 or 20% down, it's an extra 30 cents.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever, I'll just put it on there.
I tip big, especially with like Seamless or like Grubhub. I tip big because in New York, they don't work they're independent.
Yeah.
And they're just running around from restaurant to restaurant, house to house, picking up food and taking it out there. And these guys are crushing it, man.
I will say that
they work hard, they hustle.
I don't tip as much on Uber rides. I very rarely
do I do that.
It would have to be someone does something extraordinary, because I do think of them, even though it's like maybe 50-50 or whatever they get to keep of it, I am paying them already directly. Like I think the equivalent would be like if someone who served me at a restaurant owned the restaurant, I would feel less inclined to tip them.
Oh, for sure.
So if, for example, Uber rides where I knew that 100% of that money goes to Uber and Uber pays an hourly rate to the driver,
then I
would tip more because I know that that's going, it's going directly to them, but they're also not getting a piece of the major action of the ride.
Right.
Like if I get a ride to the airport in New York, it could be $50 to $100, So to tip 20% on that is like, it's real money at that point.
I have like, I think 7.5% auto on my Uber and Curb and all that stuff. Is like, so I don't have to think about it.
You
and
automatically,
it's like already built. I put it in the back end.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. And then, but I always tell them like, they'll try to get out to get my bag. I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. I got it, man. Cause like, I don't want you to feel like you have to like treat me like I'm your client. But also, like, I'm not going to tip you. I'm not tipping you enough to do this. And I don't need that. I don't have 10 bags. I got a book bag and a carry-on. I got it. Don't worry about it.
Anytime that I do multiple destinations, or if the car is like, I've gotten to some cars where it's like it's like a Dylan's candy shop in there. And they got all the treats and candies. And if I have to make multiple stops, or I'll tip, especially if I'm like, I have to run into a store. I'm like, could you please stay here for 5 minutes and I'll take the ride back. I'll tip on that. Anytime there's like truly
you're going above and beyond.
But there's a lot of rides in New York where it's like I need to go from 51st Street to 12th Street. It's straight down 2nd Avenue. I'm not going to like...
I don't tip the bus driver when I go 20 blocks.
Yeah, I don't think that's tip worthy.
Yeah, no.
But in general, I'm definitely pro tip.
For sure.
In the service industry, but I don't think a lot of people think of the towel attendants as someone to hit, or the front desk to people to hit. People always kind of hit the bellman, hit the valet guys. That's pretty. People know about that.
I've been lately more attuned to housekeepers.
Housekeepers too, yeah. They work their ass off, but they also are a faceless person to you most of the time.
Right.
Very little times, unless you stay at a hotel for a week and at a nice hotel. Sometimes you'll know your housekeeper. Like they'll put their name. Sometimes they'll leave you a little note. The nicer hotels will do that, and you'll get to know your housekeeping lady or attendant.
I got to know a little bit of it. My dad, when I was a kid, I remember we were like probably in Disney or something, and he was housekeeper said hi or whatever, and he was joking, going, "I like my chocolates on my pillow." This and that. And he goes, and they had a laugh. And he said, "Obviously, I'm kidding." And then the next day, there was a Hershey's bar on his pillow, and he cracked off some cash. He was like, "Just for the goof, like this was so funny."
Yeah,
yeah. It was great.
Well, we learned a lot today.
A lot about
About
suntan
tanning
lotion.
spray. If anyone has a manufacturing warehouse who could do Big Mike's sunscreen towelette.
If you produce towelettes or sunscreen, holler at your boy.
I don't know if I said this idea on here, but I always thought the individual floss would be great at a restaurant. Floss and toss.
You mean just like a stick?
Yeah, like instead of having a toothpick, you have floss.
Oh, like a little
thing of floss.
pick. The regular things they already have, but do just bring them to a restaurant?
Yeah, you put them, stack them up, floss and toss.
Get maybe like the wood ones, like the bamboo ones
Yeah.
they got, so it's classy.
Brand it.
I'm into that, dude.
You get a bill. Oh my God, they left me a mint and a floss and toss.
Yeah. But I would say maybe make a note says do this outside the restaurant.
Yeah,
I don't need you
don't be an animal. Do this in the
I don't need you
car.
flicking your tartar around my restaurant. Blood splatting everywhere because it's the first time you flossed in a month.
Yeah, we don't need your, chicken bits.
Hilarious.
We'll be back next week with another episode. Make sure to rate, subscribe, or whatever you're listening or watching on. Hit the button so that you can stay with us as we do more episodes. And also follow on Instagram at Jiggy Comedy and TikTok at Jiggy Comedy. And I think that's it. I don't know. Wherever you find me, just do it. And that's it. That's it. Episode 16 in the books. Until next time, mahalo and deuces.